Hold up. Hold up. Why? One second. My face broke. Please work, please work, please work. Yay, there we go. Okay, I'm not broken anymore. It took me a while. I'm so sorry. That's what happens when you overheat. You forget how to move. You forget how to move. Thank you for checking to make sure I'm awake. But yeah, so I've been struggling with heat all day. Currently got a massive freaking fan sucking in air and pushing out hot air, and I was able to cool off enough so that I can actually stream with good energy, because otherwise I would be dying and being like, hey, how you doing? Uh huh? What the hell? Uh is that an attempt at a D's nuts joke? Because that is completely out of nowhere. And that's the main time that those jokes happen. And I have never heard of that before. Anyways, so yeah, heat fixed, sort of. Uh oh, thank you for the stretch. Uh Working on getting it actually fixed. And um I have no idea. Happy Eric dude, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy your time here. Nope. No idea. All I know is that I'm Zarinus. Anyways, oh, appreciate it. Thank you. If you actually check in the about, I've got the Twitter ads for my mama and papa there. Tsukishiro and Kuniko. Both of them are very lovely to work with. And I absolutely love Tsukishiro's art. Like, absolutely fantastic. Um, but yeah, so actually, is my BGM? Why is everything broken? I thought my BGM was playing. Ay, ay, ay. Reddit. I don't use Reddit, so I got no clue. Yeah, I know. It's one of those days. My air condition broke. My Elgato, actually, I tried to update my Elgato Stream Deck. That broke. Um, I tried to start the stream off, and my face broke. And then I tried to start, and I was talking for a while, and I noticed, wow, my BGM broke. It's gonna be a great day. Actually, did the when you threw stuff, did the sound work on it? I'm trying my best. It's just everything's breaking. Okay. I think it works. Thank you for the redeem. Anyways, yeah, so Great Ace Attorney. Oh, it is dead. Oh. Okay, hold up. Let me just... Sorry, I'm gonna end up abusing myself a little bit. Ow. Alright. That looks so stupid. Okay. Okay, it worked this time? Okay. Good, good, good. Then we should be good then. It's one of those nights, I swear. I love that stuff so much. Alright, we'll start with Great Ace Attorney. Hopefully that's not broken this time. Let's go. So yeah, I've only played, the first one. Well, not the first one, the... whatchamacallit? Why can't I not... There we go. Okay. I need to get that fixed. Anyways, I will go over here. Brain go burr and everything doesn't work. It is one of those nights. So, yeah, this is going to be, I think more investigative than the previous ones. Oh, good. It's got voices. I love it. Okay, we'll do 5 seconds. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you for the water. Appreciate it. This one was released not too long ago. Oh. Oh, I don't want this. Okay, so this literally gives a game journalist mode for an investigation puzzle game? That's sad. That's sad that they would put that in here. Though I get for some, if you want to just like enjoy a movie, it would probably be fun, but God's sakes. It's a game. Play the game. Huh. So it's just 2. Alright. Oh wow, it's animated.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation
I like this.
brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
Yeah, same.
The revolution washed over the land.
Oh, and let me know if the
capital
volume is good,
exciting
please.
And unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
I like the voice too. Okay, thank you.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary
good.
story.
Okay. We started off with a murder. I love the presentation in this. Oh my god, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know. Okay, not gonna lie, that was annoying. That's like when you had those old PowerPoints in high school and it was just, oh, let me put on the gunshot effect for every letter as it pops in. Ay, ay, ay. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors of this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Yeah, like a typewriter, sort of. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. What? Sorry. Yeah, I think it is supposed to be a typewriter thing. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ah, okay. So Ryunosuke, right. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. Actually, you know what? I just saw something in the Discord. I should probably do, like, a, the Phoenix Wright, anime, and do a kind of watch-along sort of thing. You know? That would actually be good, I think. Oh, thank you, 86. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. Wow, they're even animated here. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Alright! Caught him. Technicalities, look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. He got that Metal Gear look. And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Hi. Are you Ryunosuke? Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though, I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. This is very crisp. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. So basically, the information is, I supposedly killed my professor. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Okay. You have a good lurk. This is my first time seeing any of it, though. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. That's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyways. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. That did the one that did the shot on Prof. Well, no, my character, doesn't wear a headband. Which, I am the current culprit. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Oh, also, please no spoilers. If at all possible. I like figuring this stuff out. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. Oh, yeah. I'm reiterating because I forgot. You know what? Hold up. I should put that in a title, actually. Just because some people do come in with spoilers. And I am cautious. Okay, fixed. Oh no, I understand, Noya. Don't worry, look, I ain't blaming you. I'm blaming the other people who have come into my stream before and spoiled the shit out of stuff. It's been very annoying. Oh yeah. So you were representing... This is very detailed. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. That is exposition out of complete chaos. There is not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about a change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. He's gonna die, isn't he? Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. Oh, busy for 5 hours? Ow. If only we're that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. And then I guess the professor came down and went pew-pew. It was straight after that, that's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Hi, who are you? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. 2 weird matches? Oh, StarCraft 2. I wanted to try that, but I tried and then I was like, I am bored. I could not figure it out to save my life. It was interesting though, what I played. It does seem fun. But like, it's not a game I can figure out. But it is a nice game. Well, this case has personal significance to me. Whenever that ain't that for now, Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. One called to pop... Welcome to how my streams run! Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. That's actually funny, though. Oh, look. It happens. It's the internet. The internet is a wild, wild place. I don't hold anything against anyone here, really. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. I mean, honestly, on the internet, like... I ain't assuming anybody. Anybody's everything. So, people. Motherly pyromaniac. You know what? I appreciate that. The pyromaniac especially. Like, fire is amazing. This is awkward. If I may. Yeah, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yuji Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensics medicine at Yume University. More Flaming Brimstone. Flaming Brimstone is fun. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Soge has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asoka has been granted permission to go and study abroad in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked, and never granted again. What? Dude really put his entire career on the line for this. As I expected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. What? Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right. So, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will that question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Soki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Oh! Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving, there's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Hello, Super. Oh yes, Ace Attorney. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on my unforgettable trial. I'm doing good. I'm having a... well, better. My AC broke, everything broke, and I finally fixed it all. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. The question is, do you represent yourself in this case? Okay. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of The Supreme Court of Judicator. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh! Hi! The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Just look do a lot better. This... Technically, the, character I am is. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? I do. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Hell yeah, answer I do. I'm doing this shit. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense.
Yes!
I do. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be what? Okay, this is gonna go great. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that. Really, it's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Oh, for once... There's a full jawbone beard, Judge. What, Rose? I'm just saying the dialogue. Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Or announcing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. Oh, thank you for the stretch. This merely shows that the defendant's innocent. It's so apparent. He's confident. He can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Fun fact, in the original Phoenix Wright, it wasn't Phoenix Wright. It was Naruhodo-kun. And now it's this. Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But... wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke? Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record? Alright. There's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Ah, okay. So it is just like the original. John H. Wilson. Oh. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Haha. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Pardon me. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting English policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. The government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Have a nice spot of tea. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. True. And you never know, in a few days you might be trying to get me off. In a trial! See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. 86, please! Ow. I deserve that. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor of Great... Super, please! Ow! I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know, but still I should go and say hello. Look, it's all within TOS. It's a legal term. A legal term. Totally legitimate. Alright, thank you for the hydrate. That's right. So I went over to the professor's table. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Thank you for the redeems. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Single bullet fired. Oh, wow, that's some detail. Single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Oh, that's rough. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it? Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. Why is his meal not eaten? In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Alright, photographic print of the victim has been entered. Well, that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Oh dear. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotaba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? First you're getting me off, and now you're sticking my oar in? Excuse me. Watch yourself. Any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. I'm sorry. Oh, the butler did it. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. And this grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood, Hosonaga-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. A little after 2 p.m. Okay. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections? Hosonaga he's got a good... I like doing his voice. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. Oh, now I know who he reminds me of. He reminds me of, the, guy that runs, the manager for Holostars, Shinova. The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand, the same man we see here in court today? Was the same man we see in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? Hello, Katie. Welcome, welcome. I suppose I am. I'd never gotten into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right, I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. How? How does this show that? How you doing though, Katie? Oh, and thank you for the hydrate. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. Ah, glad to hear that. I hope your writing goes well. You okay, buddy? You alright? You okay? Buddy? A little bit of a cough, maybe. Maybe just a bit. So, the court has now heard a what? Press this. Wow, you can zoom in. Kitchen entrance. Yeah, you do be coughing up a lung. Wait, let's say something. Okay. Oh, no, that's all good. Don't worry, I understand. You can magnify big time on this. So the court has now heard the process of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? Oh, poor laptop. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further than this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Ryunosuke, are you an idiot? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Hot damn! Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many called me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. I can be your angel or your devil. 2 witnesses at once? Ah. Witness guidance state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant is Iesa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effervescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kyuryo Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Pokemon Unite. I have, but I don't like playing. It's just not my style of game, unfortunately. But it is an interesting game to watch. Also, I like buying cosmetics, and it takes a lot of self-control not to buy cosmetics. Ah! That was a big one. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post noon. And not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. Oh, that was the Zeru juice. That one is big on purpose. That is basically the D100. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see, although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both have witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded the firearms, sir. Alright, you have fun, Super. This man's an impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the lurking. The soldier is claiming he actually saw the precise moment you saw the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Okay. Was that a baby? Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Oh, so I get both at once. What? I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. Oh. Stretch. Left. Up. Down. Ah, that popped. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Yeah, in the back. I noticed that too. Well, so you, Sergeant Nossa, actually witnessed a vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. He got a knife. My neck hurts. He's the murderer. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? He do got a nade knife. Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. Honestly, I want one of those knives. It looks pretty. After I had said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Oh. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Welcome back from Lag Hell, the most evil of hells. Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial.
Yes.
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection.
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Thank you for the hydrate. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves that the witness is lying. I like the music. We haven't actually heard the gun, so it could. Oh yeah, I got a sip. Let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then, it's all or nothing. That was pitiful. That was such a pitiful slap. What the witnesses saw. While having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was studying the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio. Hold up. To the chest, not the back. So either one of these works.
Yes.
What are you playing, Gakadek? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of papers in my moustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. It's just, what nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Alright, he's Edgeworth. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir, no, sir. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because, as is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, what the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed down again? Certainly there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? There is a baby. Yes, sir, at this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. The baby. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony of the Kurt Hurward has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Iyasa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Yeah. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. 1 second. It is hot. You will hear a fan. I am sorry. I need the fan. God, it is blazing hot. Hold up. Aoshi looks like freaking that dude that kept getting balder in each of the Ace Attorney games. So this is what being in an Ace Attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed! The Hohe Erikaban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hopes of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hohe treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. This game, it does seem cool. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. Simply vanished. The Goban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. Korekuta. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hohe treasure. Gunshots are loud. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day the precious Hoe Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself. Yes, Anosa. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as critical glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Teen Shun! Add attention. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Did that not play? Wait, did that not play? Hold up. Let me troubleshoot that real quick. Okay. Let me turn that off and back on again. Okay, let me try this. Okay. And then browser. All right, one more try. Sound alert seems broken. One more. One last. Yeah, sound alerts is just broken. Okay, I appreciate it. 86, is there any chance you can give, Noya back the points? For the sound alert? Man, alright. Sorry about that, Noya. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. I wish it wasn't broken. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed. Alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. Actually, I had fun on someone's stream the other night. I sent him some bits with one of the sound alerts, which please don't send me bits for sound alerts right now, please, because they're broken. Oh, I did not do the hydrate. Thank you. But yeah, so they were in like a really tense situation, and I played like a loud like fart reverb thing, and I scared the shit out of him with a fart. It was a great time. It's so much fun to scare people like that. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. There is evidence beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed. Of the table in which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. Okay, have a nice lurk, Rose. Hope you have a good, sleep. There's only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. Hold up. I want to see it. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Thank you. I don't understand. The wine glass. It's empty here, but full here. This was taken later. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. Ouchie is sus, but at the same time, he's just doing his job. The waiter said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'd be able to telegraph the report to the Great Britain on time after all. The witness's testimony we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Okay, so it is the wine. Even what I saw wasn't a precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black that myself I did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at that time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Wait. What do you think? Rinosuke? What's the matter? Can't find anything. Can't find a clear discrepancy here. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. No. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witnesses' statements to be full of holes every time. Japan, old Japan. So take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witnesses' statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press them on it without. Hey, it was part of the tutorial. With a little luck, you may get more details which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. Important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone, I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. Finally. Oh, now I got, penalties.
Yes!
No. This is not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! The sound of a firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurakuta-san? Yes, putting his...
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? Apparently. Look, it's Ace Attorney. What do you expect? And let's not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support the statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. Ouchie is a time traveler, but if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, prosecution demands to see proof. I have proof, and if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. What do you think? I gotta press everything. Okay.
Yes!
Hold up. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Newspaper press everything. There's more than one way of pressing. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the coat bond from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. I actually have no idea what guns sound like. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket's pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Had a clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. Prosecution felt no need to submit the evidence before us. It really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's to be submitted as evidence? Ask for it.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It is a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Webley is a British handgun. Okay. What we're reading right now is new clues. Wait. Victim's pocket. No, he doesn't have a pocket there. So, yeah, there is wine in the glass. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. Huh. You can conspire to prolong the trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. The thing is, Noya, I don't think it's going to be that detailed in this game. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korekuta-san. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. Or a German gun. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use that. Oh! To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using that, you can examine in... Oh! You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. That is amazing. I love this. The crosshairs start to pulsate. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. John Wilson Houghton Clinic. Dentist Hata Clinic. Wait. Dentist. Oh, I love this. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. How could he eat a steak? Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so, just before the incident. He'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia, although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure. Until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Oh. With this new information, meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Oh no, the meal is absolutely sus. Hold up. Oh my god. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Wait. Hold up. That's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police? This trial was rigged. Ooh. Dill Pickle Chip sounds good, actually. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they are wielding it somehow here... Oh, jeez. So, it is rigged. How do I... Hold up.
Yes!
Nope. Well, I think, that's speechless making. About what are you wearing, lad? Call yourself a lawyer. I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke, everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Korakuda-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But, let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimony the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly perpetrated the crime. Hey, this medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while the anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Korakuda-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, There's more. There's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. Get wrecked, you scrubs. Well, what is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. I love this. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me. That doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been an as-yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. Kazuma. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, those two witnesses on the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! That is a threat! Hold it! Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following order. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korikuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad, I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What's the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Absolutely busted. I like this music, though. Order, explain, counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Oh, well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't... This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It can only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm we tried to silence these witnesses, the baby is just jamming. Then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... I have that evidence! Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I already have it. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Oh yeah, it is the card thingy. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Satoru Hosonaga.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make the witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even the head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this chord with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga's real identity as proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes. It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched a plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular citizens are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take the plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? And the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It is my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will be elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses besides you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Another bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. He do be coughing up blood. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, who I assumed to be, or I guess to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. What? The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reasons for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Cosmo? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why they're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the young lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yumi University's medical faculty. What? What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and order these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Yeah, he do be getting screwed. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered, that this premise is false. It would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But Your Excellency, that would mean missing a noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezzael Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. He got the Rona. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Jezzael Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Ooh, okay, so now we got a third party. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, the judge joins it, absolutely. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. Not a victory yet. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimony. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Oh, I survived for now. I'm not out of the wood yet. Miss Jezzael Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Temporary win. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. Bye-bye, Katie. Hope you sleep well. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotaba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that might have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Oh, nice. I have no idea how to play Hearthstone, but I assume that's good. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Oh, Murlocs are good. Murlocs are nice. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt your pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck! Thank you! Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. I think I've seen Murky before. Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. I think I've played Murky way back when I tried out Heroes of the Storm, actually. He was good. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from the Yume cafeteria on University Street, with an extra large portion, of course. All about. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aoshi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under a rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Flounders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? Hold up. It's alright. I got tired of it. It's the same game mode every time. A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jezeel Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! Literally a swan. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea, someone bring English tea. In English, no discussions take place without tea. He did deck himself out. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover. Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it is always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please? The shit is that? Oh, she's speaking British. In Japan. Come on, Papa. Come on, Papa. Give me. Come on. Come on, Papa. Sorry, my dog just came by and he's a good puppy. I want to give him a pet. He's always stays so quiet when I'm streaming. He's a good dog. Always gotta make sure to pet your puppy. And also, he's an old dog, so I hope he stays around a lot longer. I think he's like after 14 years old. He is very old for a puppy. But he's still good. Still really good dog. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady. But, what? Oh, translator. The lady says her name is Jazael Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. What a kiss-ass. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett? 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court had been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I need to get tea next time I play this. With honey. She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of this wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. True. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Oh, bullshit. It should be someone, like, neutral. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself, only, a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this... blackguard. And look at the snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before. and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. Testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. There is like 15 different places. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses to have hidden the weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. These are the witnesses' own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. Oh, juice box. Thank you. Number 9. I'll take 2 number 9s. A number 9 large. Number 6 with extra dip. Yeah, the hat could easily fit a gun. You're right about... Alright, Turtwig. Welcome. Ah! Turtwig, please. Turtwig! Yes, that's what we have to protect Turtwig! Dude! To do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Turtwig! There's a 5,000 point redeem if you want to throw a taunt. Dude! The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Freaking hell. Please! All of you! Sorrow sight.
Yes!
Freaking eating juice boxes at me. After 2 p.m., in fact, that's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
Oh, and I got the juice... Oh, that's another juice box. 44. Snack juice. Here we go. No, I know. I put it in there for a reason. You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. Ugh. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that we submitted evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went on to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? This reminds me of the Dahlia Hawthorne incident. Only a beefsteak. He was unable to eat, you say. And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hata Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their luncheon with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke? About the witness's last statement? Hold up. That's carbonated water? Very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. Oh, a challenge. Well, that sounds fun. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. I cannot do that. That is quite a challenge. Especially for some of them. Over a glass of carbonated water.
Yes!
Hold up. Cheers. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd, very odd. Exactly. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's ability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Ow. I was listening closely and you did that to me. Damn it. Inspector, what did the lady say? It was seen that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. Why? What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. What? Good gracious. You did get me. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. And this is the end of... Wait, which game? What third game? Oh! Okay, of your challenge, yeah. That's quite a pace. Who could blame him for concealing a glass or two in a state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young woman of mischief? Mario Kart, ah. Yeah, that is doable. No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Yeah, how'd she hide it? I stuck it up my bum. It would have seemed that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. Well, I wonder where she hid the weapon. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. It shouldn't? I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel, for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there, it's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlemen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated that the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would appear perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really quite very simple. It occasionally gets there, Super. This is the very, tutorial of a new series. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't be seriously suggesting... Inspector Hasanaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Learning a boss fight. Nice. Boss fights are tough. Order. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bodily incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? I haven't, but I have it. And if you're interested, I would absolutely be delighted to play it. I'll tell you what, one of these next weeks and stuff, because I may have some time off work and all, once my air condition's fixed, let's see about playing it. I'd love to. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. No, it was not. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really? I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. Wait, look at his arm. He branded it on the thing. The plate was hot. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. The scene was moved. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. The scene was moved, you mook. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Ah! What hit me? Order, order. Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. He kinda did. From nothing. Think you've had long enough to cross-examine a witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence, as the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance. I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. The pathetic rookie slumped over the bench there before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean, this is it? I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak arm meat while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content, from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. I'm really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You're the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means, there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. Smug little. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you— Yes! Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
Display his straw clutching, look at the photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can't be no problem with this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hasanaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Right there.
Yes!
Look at this here. Absolutely sudden death mode. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. I know, that is a big hammer. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. Actually, we do. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Aoichi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. That is a bunch of bull. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe the burn does have something to do with this case? I'll show you exactly where. Right there. That's where it's from. He was sitting in the seat with the meal. Why was he? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hopes that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise the shutting door back open again. Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what I little more than a conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I had to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. Time to find some evidence. I know what it is. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial.
Yes!
What's this, counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
Can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Right here.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. It would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ugh! The emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Could have been the day before or the day after that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
we have medical records. Sadly, Prosecutor Aochi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. Thank you for the hydrate. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
It is fun as hell. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. Oh, it is fun, actually. It is a lot of fun. If you've never played any of them before, I would suggest checking out the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. That's the first one. They do sell them in a pack on the eShop as well, and you can find them on Steam. It's good stuff. And yet Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, Sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aochi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Everyone... I almost don't believe it, Ryunosuke. Do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but... I'm starting to think that maybe... She did it! We've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible. If the man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, is the only possible explanation. He died and his hand slammed down onto the plate. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! I did pick up the murder weapon. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. So, what had happened was... who in their right mind puts a glass in their purse? That's... oh, I'm a woman, I did that on accident. No, you knew exactly what you were doing. You were replacing the gun in your purse with a glass to excuse the fact that you had brought it in. You had used the purse to take out the gun and shoot the professor while dropping it on the ground. Wait, no, that doesn't line up with the facts, though, of when he heard the gunshot. Yeah, no. That does make... That is... There had... That's right, that's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Ouchi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Urgh. Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, we are, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Ow. You've got good timing on those. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Oh. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett? You speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country, after all. But then why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems that the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well... You are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. What a kiss-ass! I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways. Poison. The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. What a piece of shit. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. You've insulted everyone and their mother. It is a delight to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boor's talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I was speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett. Put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Crystal. Yes, Your Excellency. Then we proceed with the cross-examination. Alright, final exam. Oh yeah, I got it.
Yes!
Press everything. But his hand was on the steering hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun. You hadn't realized. Dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyways. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explains why you ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least, for the benefit of others in the court. It means, bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. This girl is just... yada 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 anyways. The steak. Why was the professor at the steak seat? He was allowed water. As shown in here. Anything but water. So carbonated water counts. But why was the steak at his place? I'm gonna press everything. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Lucky for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us, and as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent... The glass has poison on it. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen. Then he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is, the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Was he, though? Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchi is right. He did.
Yes!
Yes, they can. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police forces thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Ryu did. But did he say anything? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be no physical traces with all those causes of the death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought of calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question? Medical. On my honor, I, Takeuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations. With killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways.
Yes!
Let's press it. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. What was that? It doesn't even occur to you... Hold up. To your naive detective to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. What was that? Killer blow, the lady is formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. There is a way. Kazuma. What? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hasanaga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. Find out soon enough, I suppose. Once we press that statement.
Yes!
I don't know. Inferior, what do you mean by that? Everything's sort of a crime scene for later examination. You investigate once and that's the end of it, is that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Wait.
Hold up. Vital evidence may be lost. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now. Ryunosuke, it's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At that moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with that and that, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you catch the person at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with that and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go! Takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Yeah! What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Ow, my ear. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? Come on, Zip. Come on, puppy dog. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Huh? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. The inspector will kindly control his fervor. Ahem. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says? I think it's French. This must be a very expensive water. Yes, so what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. This carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right, we don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Alright.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from his bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Jezael Brett. It was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you ever even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Oh, good night, Super. Please. This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the lovely young... Oh. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady, to what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? Tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No! I know, it's in the glass. The glass that you determined was useless. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. There's one last thing. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Yup. It's lagging a bit. Oh, it did lag a bit. It looks okay now. But yeah, thank you for letting me know. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Huh? Hello? Please wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotaba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. No, here's where it is. I can show you where it is. This is where the poison is. Right here. They didn't test that. Mikotaba? Mikotoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Okay, I have been streaming for 3 hours. This is the first case. In the old Phoenix Wright games, I would already be done with the first case. Okay. So, with that, because it's very late, I'll move over. Oop, that's still on. Sorry. Little heads up display. We'll go ahead and do a bit of a raid. I thought I was gonna have, like, a lot shorter of a time. Ow. What was that? Noya! Thank you. And the juice box, thank you. Okay. Who to raid, who to raid. Because we got a few. Got High House. Got to May. Poppy. Oh, and a stretch. 1 second. Thank you. Oh wow, yeah, my connection's starting to die as well. So who to raid, who to raid? Yeah, I was thinking High House, but I was also thinking Poppy, because Poppy is currently doing an uncapped subathon. I thought it might be good. Well, actually, Poppy is very loud. Actually, you know what? We'll raid May. Because she has actually been very kind to me recently, so I haven't raided her in a while. Though I think she walked away. Dang it. Of course she walked away, like, right when I was about to raid. Okay. If she doesn't come back in, like, 5 seconds, I'll go ahead and, raid High House. But... yeah, May's AFK for a bit. We will raid High House. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I want to thank you all for coming out. I hope you all enjoyed. This was a lot of fun. I love this game. And, yeah. I know. It's all good. Don't worry about it, Noya. Anyway, thank you all for coming out, and I hope I see you all again some other night. Good night, everyone.